Donald Trump's ethics lawyer allegedly told a witness to the January 6th Trump riot committee to lie under oath. This is absolutely unbelievable. CNN has an exclusive report. Trump's former White House ethics lawyer told Cassidy Hutchinson to give misleading testimony to the January 6th committee, according to multiple sources. Look at this. The January 6th committee made a startling allegation on Monday, claiming it had evidence that a Trump-backed attorney urged a key witness to mislead the committee about details they recalled. Though the committee declined to identify the people, CNN has learned that Stephen Passantino, the top ethics attorney in the Trump White House, is the lawyer who allegedly advised his then client, former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson, to tell the committee that she did not recall details that she did recall. Sources familiar with the committee's work tell CNN. Trump Save America PAC funded Passantino and his law firm Elections LLC, including paying for his representation of Hutchinson. Other sources tell CNN. The committee report notes the lawyer did not tell his client who was paying for the legal services. When asked about pressure on Hutchinson after Monday's hearing, committee member Representative Zoe Lofgren told CNN she was advised to say she didn't recall something when she did. So that's pretty serious stuff. The episode is just one of several instances in which the committee has accused members of Trump's orbit of trying to obstruct the panel's investigation. This is extraordinarily serious if true. If a lawyer were to tell a congressional witness to lie under oath, it could potentially constitute the crime of perjury or the related offense of suborning of perjury, or maybe it's subornation of perjury, which is the act of inducing someone to commit perjury. And it's important to note that the specific legal consequences of that depend on the details of the case, the applicable law, the circumstances, what you can prove, as is often the case when it comes to perjury, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you and I, of course, recognize the kind of oxymoronic nature of a Trump ethics lawyer. I get that. We're not even going to focus in on that. But this is sort of like a third layer of what is going on with the Trump riots, because you have sort of at the top of the food chain, as the case may be, at the top of the pyramid is the riot itself and who was involved in inciting and the planning of that riot. That's number one. Number two is you have the witnesses at the Trump riot committee hearings and whether they told the truth or lied, whether they were tampered with, etc. The third layer now is, were there other people influencing the testimony of the witnesses at the January 6th committee hearing about the Trump riots and who incited those? So you've got like Trump inciting the riot, and then you've got Cassidy Hutchinson testifying about what she saw in terms of who was inciting or talking about or trying to dissuade the rioters. And now we have a third level, which is who influenced Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony and potentially told her to say she doesn't recall things that she actually does recall about that top layer of the pyramid. We now have three layers to this pyramid. The fourth layer maybe is like the rioters themselves in some way. It starts to get extraordinarily complicated, but this is already above and beyond anything that we have seen in the history of the United States. Part of the difference is in an era of records for communication and text messages, an event that was on camera and on, that makes it different in terms of our ability to actually see and figure out what went on. And that's understandable. But there has never been anything like this in American history. And so we are going to, at some point, see if and when the Justice Department decides to act on those criminal referrals that have already been sent forward. And that applies to Donald Trump, as we learned earlier this week, John Eastman, the lawyer, and others. But there's this whole other layer, which is what about all of the perjury that is suspected among some of the witnesses, and then who got to them, and was there indeed witness tampering? One of the things that was also alleged during, maybe it was the second to last, or one of the kind of later public hearings of the January 6th committee, was that there were multiple instances of individuals reaching out to witnesses and allegedly trying to intimidate or tamper. I don't believe we ever actually fully got to the bottom of that. I don't think this example is the full scope of that. And that's just another layer that needs to be investigated. Unfortunately, the January 6th committee is going to end because this session of Congress is ending, and then Republicans are taking over. They don't want to look into the riots. They want to look into stuff like the genitalia of Hunter Biden and stuff like that. So things are going to change dramatically, but we will hopefully get to the bottom of this component. And again, Trump ethics lawyer. I don't know of any greater oxymoron than that.